Live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125 across all our social media handles. This is Joy News Today. Coming up in the next 60 minutes, government starts its district road improvement program as it promises to fix deplorable roads in the country. Also in this bulletin, stakeholders applaud the passage of the Affirmative Action Bill, saying it will urge women to take up more challenges.
So I'm really happy about that. If we are able to implement, I'm sure we'll go far as gender equality is concerned.
Also in this bulletin, private legal practitioner challenges the constitutionality of the Office of Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of operations. We have this and more, plus business, sports, and showbiz. Do stay for details. Thanks for staying with us. Now, stakeholders in the women empowerment sector are applauding Parliament for the passage of the Affirmative Action Bill. The bill, which had been in and out of Parliament for several years, was unanimously passed by the House. The bill will ensure that a critical number of women are in key positions in governance, public life and decision-making spaces that will improve the lives of women in the country. We can hear from the former Gender Minister, Nana Oyelita, Nana Bampo Ado and Otiko Afisa Jaba, as well as human rights advocate and former country director of Amnesty International.
Every year, each of these sectors have to submit a report to the Gender Equality Committee and the Department of Gender. And if you do not comply, there's even a fine that you have to pay. So I'm really happy about that. If we are able to implement, I'm sure we'll go far as gender equality is concerned and adequate representation of women across the political, social, educational, cultural, and other sectors of the society.
I am more than confident. He is a gender activist. He was an ambassador for gender. And look, women are close to 52% of our population. No affirmative action assent, no vote from the women. We are going to put the screws on. This thing must become a reality. We are not going to dilly-dally about it. It has been at a snail's pace. And if it has happened under his watch, he has no other reason but to just give the assent. He doesn't have a choice.
And it's important that we know that in this process, we are ensuring that whenever we look at any leadership space like the Parliament, and we look at government, especially government positions, that women are giving a good percentage to represent, ensure that these women are not left out. If you look at our numbers in Parliament with regards to women, it's very, very sad that we have a very low number of women in Parliament. And therefore, it's important that we create spaces for women to be there.
The National Peace Council is asking stakeholders to adopt non-violent means of expressing grievances in the 2024 presidential and parliamentary election. The council says it is working to prevent any escalation of conflict and ensure successful democratic processes. Addressing stakeholders at the 2024 Peace Dialogue in Kumasi, the board chair of the National Peace Council, Dr. Enes Edujemfi, urged political parties, candidates, supporters, and the general public to use legal processes in addressing their grievances. There's more in this report by Nana Wachiyato. We'll bring you that story shortly. Now, there was near chaos at the Kumasi High Court when lawyers for Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology refused to be served a stay of execution filed by Clement Ohene-Asare at the court premises. Ohene-Asare, who claims to be an alumnus of KNUST, filed an injunction to thwart the reappointment of the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Rita Akosua-Dixon, but the court dismissed his request. Shortly after the verdict, the applicant appealed the High Court's decision, but lawyers for the university opposed being served within the precincts of the court. Emmanuel Braikweku was in court and filed this report.
During proceedings at the Kumasi High Court, counsel for the applicants argued the reappointment of the Vice-Chancellor was procedurally wrong per the statutes of the university in extending the tenure of office. He cited a breach of the procedure for the appointment, wherein a 7-member search committee is constituted to propose an ideal candidate for consideration and the advertisement of the vacancy of the Vice-Chancellor position for the application of other viable candidates. But this was opposed by counsel for the defendants, the university and Vice-Chancellor, insisting they complied with the reappointment statutes. Presiding Judge Justice Frederick Tete dismissed the application, describing it as one that lacked merit and capacity. He further questioned the status of the applicants who had indicated in his application to be an alumnus of the university. Mr. Ohene Asari failed to convince the court of being an alumnus of the university.
Now in court, there was nowhere in the processes that defense counsel said that they have not breached the statutes and the acts of the university. However, they decided to waste time on capacity and locus. The court said that I am not a registered member of the alumni. When an issue borders on illegality, whoever is bringing the matter to court is immaterial. We are filing a stay of execution yesterday, and I believe that we will have to wait till a better judgment.
Shortly after the court dismissed the injunction, the plaintiff filed an appeal, and this created a near confusion at the court premises. When the bailiff attempted to serve the lawyers of the university, the lawyers had argued that they needed to be officially served at the university and not the court premises.
He was in court and announced himself as representing the school.
But is it the school? Go to the school and go and serve them. You know service. Who do you serve? Who do you serve?
You guys, if he doesn't want to take it, drop it to him and leave.
Go to the school and go and serve them, man.
University Relations Officer Dr. Daniel Norris Bequin welcomed the court's decision and urged the aggrieved parties to resolve the issue amicably and not resort to the courts.
It's a big relief for us that this matter has been put to rest, so we can proceed and work. Actually, ask that if anyone, as the judge has actually directed, that if anyone has any issue, we should be able to sit down and talk about it peacefully. This is not a matter that we should be bringing to the court to drag the name of the university in the mud.
The court awarded a cost of 9,000 cedis against the applicants. Meanwhile, a staff of the university has also filed an interlocutory application on a similar account against the reappointment of the Vice-Chancellor of KNUST, and this is yet to be heard. From here at the High Court in Kumasi, my name is Emmanuel Braikweku.
Now, the National Peace Council is asking stakeholders to adopt non-violent means in expressing grievances in the 2024 presidential and parliamentary election. The council says it is working to prevent any escalation of conflicts and ensure a successful democratic process. Addressing stakeholders at the 2024 Peace Dialogue in Kumasi, the board chair of the National Peace Council, Dr. Enes Edujemfi, urged political parties, candidates, supporters and the general public to use legal processes in addressing their grievances. There's more in this report by Nana Boachi-Yadu. Well, let's first of all speak to Nana Boachi-Yadu on Zoom. Nana, tell us more about the stakeholders' engagement.
Well, firstly, the stakeholders' engagement was held in the Ashanti region. The Ashanti region is among the 5 regions that the National Peace Council intends to have this engagement. Well, in the Ashanti region, to be precise, it will be chairman of the National Peace Council, Dr. Enes, made some calls on political parties, party supporters and sympathizers to not resort to violent means in addressing their grievances. Well, they were making account on what happened in the 2020 general election, which resulted to the loss of lives of some people. Well, this is the main reason why the National Peace Council is bothered about issues of violence in the upcoming election. Well, the event was held in Kumasi with some key stakeholders, including the the police service, the Electoral Commission, the Peace Council itself, with party representatives. Well, at this particular event, party representatives and the entire country, citizens, were cautioned to be careful in their utterances with regards to the upcoming general election. The board chair of the National Peace Council was very, very emphatic about his call on not resorting to violence, because he says that in the previous elections, the Peace Council was unable to account for these violence that did occur in some constituencies. And in order for that not to happen in the 2024 general election, the council is having a stakeholders engagement with anybody who matters in the political space to ensure that we do not have a repetition of what happened in the 2020 general election happen again in 2024. And so this is what happened yesterday at the Golden Bean Hotel where the event took place, with representatives of the UN Secretary General also cautioning political parties and then government in itself to put in measures that would make sure that people who feel uncomfortable with whatever that will happen in the 2024 general election would not resort to violence.
Thank you, Nana Wachi Adam. Let's take you now to Parliament. The minority are touting the ability of their promised 24-hour economy to turn the economy around. The NDC has been lamenting the country's debt situation still persists, and they say they have the idea to resolve the crisis and put Ghana on sound footing. Minority spokesperson on food and agriculture, Eric Opoku, says the 24-hour economy will increase productivity and bring more of government's more money to government coffers. My parliamentary affairs correspondent Kwekwa Asante joins us live with more. Kwekwa, what else can you report from Parliament today?
Well, the House has adjourned. The House has gone on break. The Speaker of Parliament did abruptly adjourn the House indefinitely. But there are a number of committee meetings happening. The Public Accounts Committee is still sitting. The Government Assurances Committee is actually still sitting. The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abujinapo, is currently before the committee prior to me stepping out for this Zoom conversation. He's answering questions on assurances that he made to members of Parliament regarding his ministry. He's been questioned on the Achimota Forest and what exactly members of Parliament,
We seem to be losing connection to you, Kwekwa Asante, our parliamentary affairs correspondent.
The ministry is doing to...
You'd have to position rightly for me to hear you.
Are being answered, and he's currently taking his stand before the committee to answer to these questions from members of Parliament.
Very cool. We just lost you briefly when you were about to make that point. What else is happening?
Yes, I was explaining that the Government Assurance Committee is currently sitting. They are interrogating the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources on the Achimota Forest, certain assurances the minister made on safeguarding the forest from encroachment and other security concerns that had been raised on the floor of the House. The minister did provide assurances that he was going to check on them. He's currently answering questions as to what exactly he has done. We expect that the Health Minister will also take his turn before the committee in the next hour or two.
Thank you, Kwekwa Asante. Well, let's do some other stories. Government says it is determined to complete a number of road projects across the country. With a little over 4 months to this year's general elections, it has allocated earth-moving equipment to metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies in a move dubbed the District Road Improvement Program. My colleague Latif Idrisu is at the Black Star Square where President Akufo-Addo launched the program. He joins me now with more. Latif, tell us what's happening on the ground. Latif, you have to unmute for me to hear you clearly. Latif, you would have to unmute for me to hear you clearly. Just tell us what's happening from where you are right now. Unfortunately, we have bad connection to Latif Idris. The government is promising to fix a number of roads, the probable roads, as we head towards the elections. They have less than 4 months to get that done. A new training initiative is equipping conservation practitioners and managers with innovative approaches to preserve and rejuvenate Ghana's endangered tree species and their natural habitats. Over 10% of the country's indigenous tree species are at risk. And there's more in this report.
1/5 of the Earth's land surface is degraded, affecting the well-being of over 3 billion people as lakes dry up, forests vanish, and farmlands become dust bowls. To protect both nature and human health, there is a crucial need to restore 1.5 billion hectares of land by 2030.
To modify things if we're not covering what you would really like us to cover. So it's a team effort, and we're all...
A specialized course aimed at conservation practitioners and managers focuses on building capacity for on-site conservation of Ghana's endangered tree species, addressing this challenge through a practical and tailored program. Yao Etuahene Yako from the Resource Management Support Center of the Forestry Commission reflects on the past 20 years.
Yes, it means when we look back like 20-25 years ago, for example, when I joined the Forestry Commission, I mean the forest was in a far better state as we are seeing today. We are supposed as Forestry Commission to be improving on what is there. But there seems to be too much onslaught on the forest now from all angles. By nature, we are suffering from wildfires and others, and then we also have people attacking the forest in terms of harvesting and illegal mining. So that's what we mean by the forest doesn't look too good now because of these factors that is affecting the forest.
The training session gathered 20 conservation leaders aimed at inspiring them to ensure forests are conserved.
Is focused around
Dr. Rosie Trevelyan, director of the Tropical Biological Association, emphasizes that successful restoration requires collective effort and involvement.
So really the essence of the program is to solve the challenge we have of conserving forests and particularly threatened trees in Ghana through education and training, and particularly through bringing together people who are really at the forefront of conservation, to bring them together so they can learn from each other as well as learn from us.
Meanwhile, INEC Ghana has already restored 120 hectares of degraded land, with plans to restore an additional 240 hectares in 2024 using native species. David Kwarteng serves as the executive director of the organization.
Over there, we have restored about 120 hectares of degraded forests land. And we are using the community approach through agroforestry, where the communities get opportunity to plant crops and then to be able to feed their families whilst they take care of the trees that we have planted.
Effective restoration planning course involves anticipating project impacts, comprehending the ecological links in forest restoration for sustainable conservation results, selecting appropriate restoration methods for different situations, monitoring effects, and emphasizing the significance of safeguarding Ghana's vulnerable tree species.
Climate Focus is brought to you in partnership with Youth Bridge Foundation and the Climate Development Knowledge Network. We're taking a quick breather here on JoyNews Today. We'll be back with more. To stay tuned in. Thanks for staying with us. Now, government says it is determined to complete a number of road projects across the country. With a little over 4 months to this year's general election, it has allocated earth-moving equipment to metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies in a move dubbed the District Road Improvement Program. My colleague Latif Idrisu is at the Black Star Square, where President Akufo-Addo launched the program earlier today. He joins me live with more. Latif, who else has been speaking at the program?
There are more than 2,000 units of road construction equipment here at the Black Star Square. This, according to President Akufo-Addo, is expected to improve the major and some access routes across the districts of the country. This will not be limited to the national capital. It will spread across the nooks and crannies of the country with just about 4 months to go to the general elections. Now, this project, which is dubbed as DRIP, that is an interesting name, DRIP, District Road Infrastructure Program, is going to be funded solely by the District Assembly Common Fund. The President has touted his administration's achievements within the road network and tried to draw a comparison between what his administration has achieved vis-a-vis that of the former President John Dramani Mahama. So let me bring in the DC of the North Dai from the Volta region. He was here during the commissioning, and he's been speaking with us. Let me just bring in him to gauge his own view about what the president has just done and what it means for the Ghanaian people going into the 2024 elections. Some would say this is a gimmick by the president to win votes for Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. How do you react? This is the DC of the North Dai district in the Volta region.
In any case, the statement and the commissioning by the president is just apt. It's apt because this is what the Ghanaian people want. The president was right when he said that he has done a lot more in terms of road infrastructure than the former president. And there's no two ways about that argument. The records are there. You see, this president, if you go to the judiciary, if you go to education, if you go to the health sector, he's been leaving legacies that no president can match him. Now, getting to the road sector proper, this is what we are talking about. This is a president who has done a lot, but he has admitted one fact. The fact is what? We cannot put bitumen surfacing on all the road networks across the country at a go. And so what do we do for the roads to be motorable? Then he has identified that, especially in the rural district, there is a need to make sure that these roads are motorable. How do we do so? Are we going to give this into contractors or one contractor and it's going to take many years? If there is a mechanism, and then the funding mechanism in this case is called DACF. And so the name actually DRIP is called District Road Improvement Program. Improvement. And so we want to make sure that we improve on each road to the extent that we can connect one community to the other. Not only that, we will even connect our farmers. So from the house, you can go to the farm with your tractor, you can go to the farm with your pickup, you can go to the farm with your motorbike and all that. And so if you will say that it's a gimmick, in fact, it is laughable.
Hold your guns there, hold your guns. I'll bring in the MP for Kintampo North.
Joseph Kwame Kuma.
In the speech delivered by the roads minister, he said this DRIP is going to tackle minor, he used the word minor twice. He said minor potholes and minor drainage system. If it's going to fix minor issues, why do you put up this whole national, if you like, spectacle for something that's going to be minor?
Yeah. Thank you for this opportunity. I salute Kintampo North Constituents, Ghana for that matter. This Honorable Joseph Kwame Kuma. To take it from there, for me, what I would say is that anything that is good for continuity is what will bring about the development of Ghana. It's a policy continuity. Why? I was the municipal committee chairman of Kintampo North Municipality. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama time that this idea came, that the municipal and metropolitan and district assemblies should all go into.
Well, thank you, Latif Idrisu. Now let's bring you some update on our election campaign, because we are indeed your election headquarters. News reaching us is that Bernard Mona has declared his intention to run for presidency. My colleague Kenneth Jesse is on the ground. He joins us live with more. Kenneth, what can you report?
Date into the 2024 presidential elections, and he's seated right behind me. He has outlined about 9 policies which he feels could help rescue the country if he's voted into power. Let's get closer to him and find out from him. You're live on Joy News, Mr. Bernard Mona. You've outlined 9 policies that you think could rescue Ghana if you are voted into power. Can you elaborate a bit more on that?
Thank you very much. As you are aware, this country is facing a lot of food deficit. That means that we are not secured. Food is a major pillar of every democracy. A hungry people is said to be an angry nation. And an angry nation certainly will lead to a violent nation. And anywhere there is violence, democracy does not survive. So under my presidency, would ensure that food become the order of the day. Every Ghanaian will have access to food. Number 2, we think that it's important to relook at our language policy, where the days where students are penalized for speaking their local languages in school or our indigenous languages as vernacular will be a thing of our past. We will ensure a language policy that will galvanize our people. If you go into the market areas, it's certain that the bulk of our business people presently are not those who can speak good English and what have you. So we will nationalize Tree, we will nationalize Hausa, and every community that you live in, that language of origin will also be used. You do know that inflation has become an albatross on the neck of our nation because we are not able to produce sufficient. Youth bulge has become the lot of our people, where unemployment is eating our people. And this is the reason why we think that a new Ghana under a new leadership is possible.
Thank you. We will have an extended conversation with you at 2 p.m. But there you have it, Bernard Mona, the presidential, or he has announced his presidential bid to lead the People's National Convention into the 2024 December elections. He says he has the youth at heart. He wants to put the youth at the front and center of his policies. Job creation, making the local languages the national language. These are the policies that he feels could win him power, and he's ever ready to wrestle power from the New Patriotic Party and break the duopoly of the National Democratic Congress and the New Patriotic Party ruling the country since 1992. So from the campaign office of Bernard Mona, Kenneth Jesse for Joy News.
You're watching Joy News Today. If you just tuned in, Bernard Mona has declared his intention to run for president under the PNC. We're taking a quick breather. Be back with more sports, business, and showbiz. To stay tuned in.
Hi, welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. A science and technology-based lab has been established for free accessibility to students in basic and senior high schools in the Ashanti region to promote STEM education in the younger generation. The lab, commissioned at the Apia Menka University of Skills and Training and Entrepreneurial Development, offers an avenue for students to demonstrate their creativity, ingenuity, and problem-solving skills. Here's more in this report.
Known as the Robotics and Innovation Laboratory, the establishment has facilities that allow students to conduct real-time simulations and develop them into prototypes. Pro Vice Chancellor Professor Isaac Boateng highlighted the crucial role of technology in driving development in the country. He emphasized the potentials of science and technology in addressing employment challenges as the project inspires entrepreneurship.
The Amstead Robotic Innovation Lab, with some state-of-the-art equipment, provides a fertile ground to energize our ATVET and STEM education. With the Robotic Innovation Lab, we are in position to train our students to acquire robotic and artificial intelligence competencies that are necessary to investigate and engineer practical solutions to our problems as a nation. This milestone arguably positions Amstead as an important next step for all the basic and secondary school students pursuing STEM education in Ghana.
The project is in line with the visions of the university to produce world-class human resources well-equipped with technical and vocational education and training. Hundreds of high schoolers within the university's catchment and in the Ashanti region are expected to use the facility in developing technologies that address societal problems. Engineer Dr. Albert Awopone is the head of the Center for Artisanal Skills Training and Development at the university.
We have many schools around here. We have so many basic schools. They have computer labs, but we have a number of public basic schools around here which do not have. And we're opening to both public and senior highs. And we're giving ourselves a big tax, but then we think we can achieve this, and that we are talking about a huge number of students in this regard.
While still in the Ashanti region, Vice Chancellor of the Kumasi Technical University, Professor Gabriel Jumo, says the institution is fostering interdisciplinary collaboration, promoting sustainability and digital transformation to impact students and industry. He says innovative teaching methods and strong industry partnership remain essential in advancing academic and industrial productivity. Here's more.
Vice Chancellor was speaking at the launch of the 70th anniversary of the Kumasi Technical University on the theme 70 Years of Academic Excellence, Steering Technical and Vocational Education. He says the school has evolved to a top university with cutting-edge teaching methods and strong industry partnerships.
Today, we gather to celebrate the 70th anniversary of our university. Over the decades, we have grown from a modest institution to a leading university renowned for its cutting-edge research, innovative teaching methods, and strong industry partnerships.
Professor Gabriel Jomo stated the institution is creating a more dynamic and inclusive learning environment to prepare students to tackle challenges and grab opportunities.
Honorable Chairman, we are also committed to expanding our outreach and partnership both locally and globally. By strengthening our ties with industry, governments, and other education institutions, we can create a more dynamic and inclusive learning environment that prepares our students to meet the challenges and opportunities of the future.
Guest speaker at the event launch, Dr. Kwame Ba Nyakun, entreated the KSTU to focus on training students who are willing to become artisans in the field of vocational and technical education. He also urged the private sector and state agencies to take on vocational and technical training as part of their corporate social responsibility to help reduce unemployment.
So we should be teaching our students problem-solving skills, and this is what vocational training and technical training is about. How of this, I'm glad that you have faculties of entrepreneurial skills and all those things. And I think other agencies, private sector organizations, state agencies should also emulate what we are trying to do, because if you have the resources and you develop the capacity of the people, you benefit. And so the skills, the workforce that we need for the future need to be helped. So when we build hospitals and we provide the facilities that we do, it's because we are investing in the future of.
David Opoku's reports for Joy News.
And that's it for business. Sports is up next. Welcome to the sports segment on JN Today. My name is Haruna Mubarak. Now, Nigeria's medal hopeful Favor Ophil will not compete in the women's 100 meters athletics event at the ongoing Olympics. This comes after the country's federation and Olympic Committee failed to register her for the event despite her qualification. Ophili secured her spot with a time of 10.85 seconds. Now, the 21-year-old will have to wait 4 more years for another chance to compete at the Olympics. Ophili is demanding accountability from those responsible and questioning their trustworthiness. Athletics event kicks off on Thursday. To basketball now, and Team USA and South Sudan will clash tonight
For the top spot in Group C, USA narrowly defeated South Sudan in an exhibition game, and the Americans admit they must be at their very best to beat the Africans again. Here's their coach, Steve Kerr.
I would say so. I mean, they came within one shot of beating us, so I'm really glad that we played them so we could feel, you know, their speed and their three-point shooting ability and feel how good they are. And I think we'll be much better prepared tomorrow, but doesn't guarantee anything. We got to go out and play.
If you don't get heightened just by being here, like, I don't care who you're playing. We know we can't just sleepwalk through any game and feel like you're gonna win, let alone or play well, let alone win. I think Serbian game, even though we beat them by whatever in the exhibition, we knew it was going to be a harder game. The score reflected our mental focus and our intensity over the course of 40 minutes, even with a rough start. So we have to bring that same energy for sure. Like I said, it's appropriate fear of we're beatable if we don't play our game, but if we do, we have a lot of confidence we can beat everybody.
Away from the Olympics to club football, and Manchester United defender Lenny Yoro has been seen wearing a protective boot and using crutches at the club's training base. Yoro was forced off during the first half of Saturday's pre-season defeat by Arsenal. The 18-year-old was spotted getting onto the team bus with a protective boot on his left foot, sparking fears of an extended absence. Yoro completed his £52 million move to United from Lille earlier this month. And that's how we end the sports segment on JN Today. My name is Haruna Mubarak.
Good afternoon, you're welcome to the Showbiz segment with me, Jacqueline and Suma Yebwa. Now, Ghanaian actor Kojo Nkansa, popularly known as Lil Wayne, faces another delay in his trial, leaving his legal team frustrated. While the latest adjournment is due to the Attorney General's report, which is still pending, and the lead counsel for Lil Wayne, Margaret J. Chum, revealed that they would defend the actor's innocence until proven otherwise. Lil Wayne, out on a 50,000 Ghana cedis bail, is charged in connection with an accident that tragically resulted in the death of a 3-year-old boy. The Asakari Mampong court was expected to start the full trial, but on Monday, 29 July 2024, the session was postponed to August 22nd after the prosecution announced the Attorney General had not yet presented its report. Margaret Mary J. Chum, the lead counsel for Lil Wayne, highlighted that the repeated delays are taking a toll on her client. However, the family of the young victim is also left waiting for justice.
The prosecution says they are waiting the Attorney General's report. It will be based on the reports of the Attorney General that we will know how the case will travel. The Attorney General have many options. How we pray that Attorney General will say that he shouldn't be prosecuted, but we are also very mindful of the fact that a young boy is deceased. Because of the fact that somebody is dead, it changes the entire case altogether, but we are still awaiting their reports. In fact, this accident has really affected him. The way we were praying that the movie, what is the name, Paul? A Country Called Ghana, how it was supposed to go because of the accident and the media hype, and also the negative comments around. It has somehow affected the movie itself. But what can you say? Somebody is dead. So we are not thinking in terms of commerce. We want to think as reasonable human beings.
Meanwhile, Lil Wayne's movie, A Country Called Ghana, which premiered on the same day as the tragic accident, has won 3 awards at this year's IMO International Film Festival in Nigeria. While his legal troubles continue, his professional achievements provide a stark contrast to the personal challenges he faces. As the case drags on, both sides await the Attorney General's report, hoping for a fair and a timely trial.
While Nigerian musician Kiss Daniel has hit a huge milestone, racking up over 1 billion streams on Spotify, this amazing feat put him alongside Afrobeat musicians like Fusel DJ, Black Sharif, Wizkid, Davido, and many more. On that note, is a wrap for the showbiz segments with me, Jacqueline and Suma Yabwa. Faustina.
Showbiz is amazing. $100 million worldwide in 2023. I'm sure we can do same if we work on our highlights.
Just 2% went to Nigeria. So people are asking, what about Ghana? Because Afrobeat is really known when it comes to Nigeria. And in Ghana, we have just a few artists doing Afrobeat. So look at the percentage. Even in Nigeria, we have Burna Boy, Ashake, and all those people, just 2%. So Ghana, I think you can just thrive on our high life and just make money out of it.
Thank you, Jacqueline, for bringing us showbiz. Well, for more news, please log on to myjoyonline.com. Some top stories there. Every lawyer has a right to criticize a court's judgment. That's what Dami did, and that's coming from the Deputy Attorney General. My name is Faustina Savo. Have a pleasant day as you enjoy the rest of our programs.